we engaged the Germans, and where we stand now, the Germans have undertook to increase or to give additional resources as part of the reparation, if they say endowment, to what had happened between our two countries.
You have...
Wow, greetings all of you, dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. An ego is always an ego. No matter how long you feed it on chicken feed, it will never change. It's egoed. And to prove this, the President of Namibia, Her Excellency Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, after many years, has made it clear that German must pay reparation for the genocide of Elelo in Namibia. So, dear lovely family, friends, don't skip the video. Make sure that you share this video to other Africans. You like the video, and also you share your thoughts. You comment on this video from what you will hear from Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. So let me first of all share this video of Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Then I will come back for more conversation with you. Welcome. Wow, an ego is always an ego. A freedom fighter is always a freedom fighter. Thanks to Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah for this powerful message. I hope the world now understand what Madam Nandi-Ndaitwah is telling the world. Dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, as you heard from Madam President about the issue of reparation, the issue of value addition, how we can beneficiate from our natural resources, especially oil and gas in Namibia. So share with us your opinion on what you heard from Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. For me, let me share my thoughts from what I heard from Madam President, starting with the issue of reparation. And of course, German didn't do bad things in Namibia only, also in Tanzania. So when we say German must pay reparation, all former colonial countries of German must unite, must come together and say, you German, you did this in Namibia, you did this in Tanzania, you did this in Tanganyika, so you have to pay reparation. So as an individual country, I think it is not enough. I always say this, that Africa, we need to speak with one voice. Yes, Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, she spoken, she addressing the issue of reparation, but as Namibia, a small country, cannot confront German and win the battle. So it needs other African nations to join, those who have been suffered by German. For instance, Tanganyika, we know that in Tanganyika, there are some king or Ilo who was assassinated by German, and his head was taken to German. Somebody called Mkwawa. If you can search Mkwawa in Tanganyika, you can understand who is Mkwawa. But Mkwawa was assassinated by German, and his head was cut and taken to German. So I think German have to pay for those things that did in the continent of Africa. It's not only German. France, we know, and France has done bad things, and that's why in Sahel you see countries such as Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger decided to expel France. France destroyed these francophone countries, and also France has to pay reparation. So, and France cannot be paying reparation by only Burkina Faso saying you have to pay. It needs all of us, the continent of Africa, to come together to speak with one voice. And the problem that we have, Africa, we have good leaders, we have intellectuals people, but these people are speaking individually. If you go to Sahel, you find leaders such as Captain Ibrahim Traore is so powerful, is so strong, but is speaking individually. And that's why you see Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to come together, because within ECOWAS, there's no support. So they decided to come together. Even Namibia, I think this thing in Namibia must be addressed by SADC. SADC must address the issue of reparation to Namibia and Tanganyika, bad things made by Yemen. In South Africa, we know what happened to South Africa when students were killed by apartheid regimes. We need to demand reparation. Of course, we know that there's no amount of money that can buy the soul of the people. No any amount of money can buy the life of a human being. So, but they have to pay for what they have done. They have destroyed everything. Go to Zimbabwe, the same thing. Go to Mozambique, see what the Portuguese did. So I think to achieve reparation, first of all, we need to speak with one voice. Yes, we have African Union. I don't think that African Union is enough. It needs all African countries, keeping aside African Union, let us come together. Because there are some countries that are not members of African Union, and there are some countries that are already suspended by African Union. So I don't think that African Union is bringing all of us together. We expected that African Union can be an organization that brings all Africans together. But it looks like right now, African Union is not bringing all African countries together, because some countries have already suspended because of these things that we call unconstitutional changes. And a few days ago, I shared the video of Madam Natumbo Nandi Ndaitwa talking about democracy in Africa, that this democracy is the tool made for Africa to be divided. And we have seen that how democracy is dividing people. Go any country where there is multi-party system, you find people being divided, people fighting themselves instead of bringing people together. So I think we need a governance system that would bring people together, apart from this democratic system that is dividing people into political parties. Also, let us move to the issue of value addition. And of course, these things have been saying many times. And even yesterday, I shared the video of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni when he spoken on the issue of value addition. And I given suggestion about how we can achieve value addition, because we know that this is not an easy task. A value addition is a dangerous battle that Africa has to fight and to win, because we know when you talk about value addition, it means we're talking about cutting supply of raw materials to Western industries, to Eastern industries. So these people who are enjoying jobs from our natural resources into raw forms, they will not accept it very easy. They will try to manipulate, they will try to do everything to make sure that we are not going to succeed. And also this needs all of us to come together, because Namibia itself cannot stop Europeans from taking natural resources from Namibia, because we know that these resources are not only in Namibia or in South Africa or in Kenya or in Tanzania or in Democratic Republic of Congo. All over the continent, these resources are there. If you talk about oil is everywhere in this continent. Go to Nigeria, go to Angola, go to Mozambique, go to Uganda, go to Democratic Republic of Congo, go to Tanzania. There is oil and natural gas there. So if you say Namibia can stop export of natural gas and oil, and saying Namibia itself can succeed to value addition, the rest or other countries will export into raw form. So those who are buying from Namibia will stop buying from Namibia. They will start buying from Kenya. They will start buying from Uganda, from other countries. So automatically Namibia will find itself into the jungle. So to avoid Namibia to be isolated by the international community, by those who are buying these natural resources, let Africa speak with one voice. Say, we as Africans, we have agreed that we want to add value to our natural resources. No any African country should export material or raw materials into law form. I think from there we can succeed. But as an individual country, we cannot succeed, because we have seen some countries already inviting US to come and to sign deals of minerals. So don't expect that if US can come and sign a mineral deal, can add value here. No, they can take those resources into law form. Then they can create jobs for their people, for their children. So don't think that when they are coming to Africa to take natural resources, they are coming to maybe to make to create job for us. No, they are coming to take natural resources to create jobs for their children, for their people, because they have already promised them that when I become a president, I will create good environment for businesses and for job creation. And so how are you going to create jobs? It is to sign deals to get natural resources, and those natural resources into law form can increase jobs. So to succeed that, it needs Africa to speak with one voice. And as I said yesterday, it will cost even lives of some people, of us, to try to stop these things. But we have to fight for, because there's no pain, no gain, no pain. We must accept that we have to fight this battle, to make sure that we add value to our natural resources. The thing that is not easy, the thing that is very, very difficult. But if you look the market that we have, the population that we have, we don't need to look outside. 1.4 billion people. And by the year 2050, I think, we will be almost 1.8 population, 1.8 billion people in the continent. It's a market itself. So what we need to do is to come together as Africans, to strategize. I will repeat this thing, and wherever you are, my dear lovely family, tell our people that as Africans, we need to have our own summit. We need to have Africa Diaspora Summit, or African or Black People Summit. I think maybe it will sound good. Black People Summit, where we can come together and say, what are we going to succeed with our natural resources? Because these natural resources, at the end of the day, it will be over, because we have allowed others to take these resources. But we Africans who are Black people, we are suffering. So I think we need that summit that can ask us almost some questions. How are we going to benefit from our natural resources? How? And before that, also, we need to ask ourselves, what things made us poor? Why we are poor? While we have natural resources. We can sit down. Maybe day one, we can ask ourselves why Africa is poor while we have all these natural resources. What's wrong with that? Then we can go back to our rooms and reflect and trying to brainstorm why we are poor while we have these natural resources. Then we can come up with some input. We are poor maybe because we are disorganized. We are poor maybe because... So how can we move out of poverty? If we know the solutions, or if we come with solutions, then how are we going to implement those solutions? Then from there, how are we going to become rich? I think we can also come with solutions. So we need Africa or Black People Summit. I know that those who they saw themselves they are not Africans because they are born in America or they are born in Caribbean. They feel they are not Africans. Yes, by these geographical positions and these colonial boundaries, it looks like you are not African. But because you don't know the history, that Black people, the home of Black people, all Black people, home is Africa. Because maybe you have taught, I cannot blame anyone, you have taught to feel that you are not African, but you must know that the origin of Black people, all Black people, is Africa. Africa, even those who saw them in Caribbean, they were taken during slavery. Their ancestors, their founding fathers, their grandfathers, grandmothers were taken from Africa to Caribbean to southern part of the continent, I mean of America, in some highlands there. So you are African. Automatically you are African. So don't say I'm American. Yes, you are American because maybe you have changed. You know, nowadays people are trying to use these papers. I can give you paper. You can become even Chinese. But have you heard a Chinese called himself African? No. Or Indian. Indian are Indian. European are European. No European are African. They know very well. But you find Africans are Europeans. Africans are Americans. Africans are Chinese nowadays. Even names, you know, that's why you cannot find a European called Okwechuku. You see? But you find African called David. You find African called Abdallah. Arabic names. But so I think we have made to give up our culture, to give up our Africanicity, and to think that we are not Africans, we are Europeans, to enjoy others' culture. And that's why it is very easy to find Africans bleaching their color. They want to look white like Europeans or like Arabs. It is very easy to find that Africans, we use a lot of money to buy cosmetics, to try to change our faces to look like Europeans or to be white like Chinese. And even now they have been selling balms to us. Just imagine, Africa, we have people who are so caved, but now they are selling balms to us, artificial. So I think we have to embrace our culture, to accept that we are African. So if you are black people, you must understand that you are African. Wherever you have born in Caribbean or you are born in America, in Europe, but you are African. Even Obama, his origin is Kenya. We know very well that Obama, his father came from Kenya. And recently I saw on television someone from Brazil, Vinicius Jr., a player of Real Madrid club. He traced his DNA. He found that his founding fathers or his ancestors came from Cameroon. So you can understand that Africans, the source of all black people is Africa. So don't look shy to be African. So I think, as I said, we need our own summit, Black People Summit, where we'll come together to see what we can do to move out of this poverty. I think how we can achieve value addition, and I think that will be a powerful. If you look, each country is doing well, but they are doing individually. They are not doing in united form. And this is the thing that undermining Africa's development. And it is very easy to be manipulated and sometimes to be punished by those who don't want Africa to come together. So we must understand that we have strength in our unity. So let us make sure that we come together, we unite, we strategize, we understand what we can do. We have Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What can we do in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area? As Africans, how are we going to benefit? We need industries. How are we going to industrialize? We need energy. How are we going to have enough energy? We need roads. How are we going to build roads? If we can come together, I hope these things can be solved, because we don't have luxury of time to wait someone to come and help us. It's we Africans who are responsible to make sure that we bring changes. Those are just my thoughts on the issue of value addition. Let us now move to the issue of protection of natural resources. And of course, you heard Madam Nand said that she decided to take control of oil and gas. We know these things in Africa, sometimes when we discover these things, we feel like blessing, but at the end of the day, we found that we are in trouble, because we have some examples where people discover the oil, what happened to them. For instance, in Nigeria has oil, but we know what is happening right now in northern Nigeria. There's no peace there. Boko Haram is there. We know in Congo, when we discover resources, what happened. South Sudan, right now is a tension. Brother is fighting against brother because of natural resources. In Mozambique, all of us, we know what happened in Mozambique. Rwanda has sent troops there to support Mozambique. So when we discover resources, it looks like a blessing in one end, but in other end, we find ourselves into trouble. In Sahel, we know in Sahel there's uranium, oil, natural gas. What's happening there? You see, in Libya there's oil there. What happened to Libya? So in Somalia, there's oil there. What's happening to Somalia? So you can see that these natural resources in Africa, sometimes it looks like a trouble. And this trouble was made purposely to make sure that Africans cannot enjoy these natural resources. So I think the time has come for one thing that I don't understand, and I will not understand, what those who are in leadership thinking about this continent, because I don't see that they are talking about critical issues in the continent. The issue of peace. It looks like we are not serious about the issue of peace in this continent. We are not serious about development totally. Because I see it is possible. It is possible for we Africans to come together and to bring change, because we have these resources. All these countries that you see, they are so developed. They use the same resources from Africa. They use our gold. They use our uranium. They use our cobalt, coltan. They use our lithium. So why don't we Africans use the same resources that are making people rich? Why these resources are not making Africa rich? What's wrong with these resources with Africa? We need to find a good relationship with Africans and their resources. We don't have good relationship with our resources. We need to find a way how we can have good relationship between us and our resources. Maybe we have something wrong with our resources, because how is it possible that the Chinese are coming, they use these resources, they become rich? What's wrong? What's happened to Europeans? They came, they use these resources, they become rich. But Africans to become rich with the same resources, it is difficult. So maybe we are not, there's something wrong. So I wish our leaders, maybe in the African Union or in some these region bodies, can discuss, can find the solution. Where long we made mistakes, where we went long about these resources. Why are we starting fighting after discovering these resources? So those are just my opinions. I know maybe I'm not in the right track, but all in all, I'm just brainstorming to understand why we are in this position, why we are here, why we are doing this, and what can we do to make sure that we build the Africa that all of us we are dreaming about, the Africa that we want. So I think those are just my opinions. If you have anything, please add to this through the comment section. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.